Hi, hello everybody joining in. Welcome to Parador. Happy to have all of you join in for this live session. Parador is a leading international brand, like we know, for premium quality wooden flooring with a rich German legacy of more than 40 years. From the house of HIL, a CK Birla company, Parador offers an eclectic product mix of floorings in engineered wood, vinyl and laminate. Today we are here for something really special that we are starting out. It is a gripping series called Start with the Floor, which does what? Okay, so it shares inspiring stories of entrepreneurs from the field of architecture and design, knowing them from their very foundation, which is from the floor. Introducing myself, I am architect Himani Ahuja. I am an architectural journalist, an architect by education, but a communications specialist by choice. I'm also the founding partner of One Digital and Designworks Asia. Let's welcome our first guest. So before I call him on the session, let me first tell you a little more about him. He's a prominent name of the architectural fraternity for over almost 3 decades now. He is none other than architect Cosima Chittalwala. He is the founder and principal architect of Designers Group Mumbai. He has worked persistently on growing his firm, which is Designers Group, within the hospitality industry and beyond. His works include interior design and architectural projects for hotels of all categories and brands. Whether it be a Marriott, a Hilton, a Taj, a Sheraton, you name it, and he has done it. I'm sure each one of us must have visited his hotel in our lifetime, right? Let me add on architect Cosima Chittalwala on the live session for everybody.
Hi, Mani.
Hi.
How
Hi,
are
sir.
you?
How are you?
Very good, very good. What about you, dear?
I am great. It's great having you, and we are very happy to know your story from the floor to ceiling, and that's what we are here for. And I hope you share a lot with us here.
Sure, sure, sure.
Okay, so let's start. What were the early years of your journey? I want to know that you know about the house that you grew up, and were there any inputs of being an architect that time?
So, I never knew architecture as a profession, as a course, and architect as a profession as such. Uh, पता भी नहीं था. In the wildest of my dream, I never knew what was architecture supposed to be.
Right.
I am an accidental architect, to be honest.
Wow. Okay. So, what was the house like? Can you tell me a little about the architecture of that house that you grew up in?
So be like a perfectly like a Mumbaiite. I was in an. I grew up in a very middle class family. So in my earlier childhood, we were staying in a one room apartment. But then with the growth, we moved into a larger apartment of 3 BHK where me and my family, all of us moved into it. And post that, I think so. It was a regular flat in Mumbai, in Tardev, where where I spent my nearly 50% of my childhood before I became an architect. So probably that's the time spent where I spent. I have seen a lot of if you remember or if you know about it,
Yeah.
the Mumbai Chawl life. I have seen that in
Right.
first half of my life.
Wow. Okay. Great. That's really beginning from the floor and reaching wherever that you are right now. And we are happy to have you as an architect now and wanting to talk to you since really long about this, about your journey, because we've seen you interviewing a lot of people, but now is what we wanted to know from you, that how did it all happen to you? So
So
tell me,
your
how did
intention is
the
to
love
train
for
the
design?
trainer. So your intention is to train the trainer.
Yes, yes, exactly, exactly. So I want to know, how did this love for design happen? Since you said that you are, an accidental architect and you've never like really gone into this profession in your early life. So how did you know about architecture and how did this love happen?
So uh, uh, for me, uh, my brother is an engineer,
Okay,
and since he was doing engineering, I felt that I should pursue some other career, and I decided to do medicine. And eventually, when medicine, when I decided to take up that particular area, I fell short of few marks. And
right.
moment I fell short, I started looking for it, uh, for uh, for different options as such. And uh, when I did that, uh, I had a friend who was there from me when I was doing my science. There was a friend of mine who is currently in US. Uh, he
Okay.
played a very instrumental role in introducing me to a friend, his friend who was doing architecture, and who was his neighbor
Wow.
also.
Okay.
So others friend was also doing architecture.
Wow. Okay.
So all of a sudden, I met two architects, and I went and saw the college which they were doing it, and I found it really very exciting because that college at that point of time, Academy of Architecture, was a very unconventional college. It was built in a shade. It had 5 rooms, lovely courtyard, large banyan
Yeah.
tree. So it was like a gurukul for me, and that
Yeah.
that first love at sight was something which was mind-boggling. And
Right.
then I
Right.
decided, let me get into it for whatever reason. I felt that it seems to be exciting, so let's give a shot. And
Right.
you will be surprised, I didn't even fill in the form for BSc also.
Okay.
Uh,
All
I
right.
and Academy of Architecture was the only college where I applied, and that's all.
Right, right. That's probably the only place that looked like Gurukul to you and you wanted just to be there.
Absolutely, it touched my heart. Probably, it touched my senses when the first time I saw it, and I felt that yes, this is the place to probably learn something. And I saw the way, because the way the students were behaving, way they were creating things, and I think so somewhere at the inner, some sense of mine was touched, and I said, "चलो करेंगे कुछ ना कुछ तो करना चाहिए अपने को."
Yeah, right. Interesting. Okay, so your career started with, laying the foundation with your friend's friend rather, who introduced you to architecture, and then you looked at the space which was beautiful. You wanted to be there, which was Gurukul. Then what happened? How did the career shape? How did that develop into a career? This was just love that happened, but
So,
when did you feel that it should be a career?
So, I will tell you, there is an interesting theory, interesting story behind that.
Yeah.
After joining architecture, which was a very great difficulty, I had some challenges while I was getting my admission. I had good marks at that point of time in 1982. I had fantastic good marks in order to get my admissions. But somewhere or other, my form got lost, got mixed up with it,
Oh,
got attached with the other somebody else's form, and
oh my
they
God.
found they said, when I started cross checking with them, they said that, where have you applied? You have not even applied also.
Oh my God. Okay.
So it was a very tense moment for me, that I had not applied to any other architecture. What would I tell my father? My father
Yeah.
was also having certain issues in terms of his work at the work front. His factory had shut down because of the lockout, and
Okay.
all those were prevailing at that point of time. And then I found a relief there. I got connected to somebody. Uh, I Sir Homi Dalas,
Oh,
who was he's such a great architect, and I went to him and I said, "Sir, I am seriously looking." I became so I felt it started feeling. I felt in love with that college, and
Yeah.
I went to his office uh, through a friend of mine who introduced me to architecture, and I went to him and he said, "Dikra karu chu kai karu chu," and
Okay.
being a Parsi gentleman, such a thorough architect, gentleman, a great soul, and he finally called up my college and he said that this boy has been pleading me, he's showing me receipts. Why are you saying that he has not applied?
Yeah.
And he said, you don't even have courtesy to look at it. So all of a sudden, everybody, when his call went, they started looking for it. Then they said that तेरा फॉर्म ही नहीं मिलता, तेरा फॉर्म ही नहीं है. And then I finally, I said, sir, can I have a look? And I found it. I went through each and every form and I found that two forms were clipped together.
Okay.
So my form got attached to one other form, and that's how finally I managed to get into architecture. But when I was cleaning up my drawers, I realized that uh, we give those exams when you do SSC, your generally you're then matriculate and kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Uh, that was the time I had given my IB test and IQ test, and IQ test was mentioning creative science. And
Okay.
then I started researching on creative science. What does creative science? So they had written very specifically, you do architecture, creative engineering. Creative engineering was the word, not creative science, but creative engineering. So it meant for interior designing or architecture.
Wow. So
So the
it was
destiny
very
took me there.
yeah. Great. Okay. So, I mean, that's interesting that, it led you somehow to design and architecture and you were
Right.
always meant to do this. But that's great. Okay. So, okay. So now the career happened and you got into the architecture college, you developed your own style of working. Was there any certain influence during your college years, that led you toward forming a specific typology of design philosophy?
So I will tell you, I was very active during college time also.
Right.
I was fortunate enough to have friend circle which was always wanted to do something or other. Uh,
Yeah.
my travel I became very passionate about the travel. My travel till I joined architecture was zil. I would say I had not traveled the world, and
Okay.
probably you will be surprised. First time I went to Mathiran, uh, after that is at the age of 20, which is so close. Hill station is so close to
Wow.
Dubai. When I
Yeah.
joined architecture, so
Yeah.
so so my exposure to the life was something which was different, and that's what led me, and that's what I when I was there in the first year of architecture, I decided that I need to enjoy this. If I don't enjoy this, I'm going to get finished, because I heard stories like this is as difficult as medicine. This is
Yeah.
and it is so much of struggle. And I said, if I don't enjoy it, I'm not going to. But fortunately for me, I took things till second year of architecture. I took things very very light. As a third year of architecture, I became some secretary, student secretary council, and then NASA secretary, and all those things started from second year, third year onwards. And third
Right.
year, I got a big kick on my ass, and
Okay.
that was that the professor, as everybody was making final drawings and presentation in design, and I took a concept to him, and
Okay.
he gave me a big blast on it. He gave me a big blast on it, and he said that he literally told me, "FO, I'm not going to allow you. You are not going to pass this year. That is, I'm going to ensure that you will flunk." And
Right.
that was an eye-opening moment for me, and I said, and I seriously took that as a challenge, and I did something which was very good. I'm, I'm very happy that that kick was required, which initiated a lot of things.
Yeah.
And uh, I third year, it was an external jury where architect Pravinaben Mehta and Sir Kharegat was there. Professor Kharegat was there for our jury, and they grilled me for nearly 35 minutes.
Wow.
35 minutes they grilled me, and everybody was saying that this guy is going to get flunked. And finally, I am so glad that I came out with flying colors. I, I got the second highest marks in design that year.
Wow. That's quite a good positive motive of how it turned out to be. Great. Great. I mean,
So
I think that's what a lot of youngsters watching us might learn from this experience, that, you just need that kick, and I think it can go beyond for you.
yeah, because that is the point of time I realized that I can design. I can think well. I need to get, only thing I need to do is to get serious about it and get involved in it. And moment I
Right.
get involved, I'll be able to crack whatever I want to.
Right, right, right. So, we've understood about your college life, how it really made you, stricter in terms of your vision towards design. Now, what about the inception of Designers Group? A lot of people pass out and, they work with various firms. I'm sure you've had your experiences. But how did Designers Group happen, and what were you doing before you started your firm?
So it's crazy. I worked uh, in my college time. From the third week of my architecture, I started working with somebody.
Okay.
So that time I didn't even know how to hold pencil and cutter. So I am
Yeah.
very honored and to say that today his son is my dear friend, also younger to me but very close.
Yeah.
Uh, Architect Tawfiq Talib, you taught me how to hold the pencil and how to hold the cutter and sharpen the pencil, because we never used to use the sharpener. We were using T squares and set
Yeah.
squares. He told me how to roll the pencil while you are drafting. He taught me that on the very first day, and I will never forget in my life. I'll always remember till the end of my life how to hold the pencil.
Right.
Today, Soyuz is a very dear friend of mine, and I'm so honored that this life is completing one circle at least, so that we are together uh, in terms of getting attached.
Right.
Uh, when we when I was doing my architecture, um, I had I was working with somebody, and um, my then partner and now my sleeping partner, Sujata, got an offer for somebody because she had completed her interior, and she's a textile designer, and she's also an interior designer, and she had completed, so she got an opportunity for some job. And of all the people in the office, she came and asked me that, Khozema, can you come? So probably you will be surprised that when I completed my final year, uh, I was having 5 sites running.
Okay.
So I was making some money or other uh, by doing uh, odd interior projects, smaller size, somebody's shop, retail
Yeah.
area, somebody's uh, uh, somebody's kitchen, and somebody's
Yeah.
bedroom.
Yeah. Yeah.
So those were the things where it is incepted. And I yet remember today that when we completed, I went ahead and I joined. I went to work with somebody, and Sujata used to handle the office.
Okay.
So I used to work with Deepak Mehta, architect Deepak Mehta, and that time she used to handle the office. So I used to start at 7 o'clock, 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning, do site work, reach office by 10, finish off office by 7 o'clock, then go back to my office, draft till 11 o'clock, and then come back home.
Wow. Wow. That's quite a journey, I must say. And I think she is one of an inspiring person for us as well. How she's dealt with all of these with you. So
Yeah.
we're happy to know. Right. So, okay. So you started on with these small projects, you started getting smaller projects like maybe a living space or a kitchen and, all of that. But, what skills that you feel are very required when you're starting on your architectural journey?
So I think so. Um, most of us have to struggle in the life. We have to do something which is, we need to grow gradually, because um, if you are fortunate enough, you get a project which would be probably huge project at the very first shot.
Right.
Uh, but most of us are not. We need to ensure that we have sufficient amount of, we grow as we keep on developing the designs.
Right.
Probably, I think so. Our first break in terms of lot of we did lot of we did some architecture, bungalows,
Right.
some buildings here and there, but somehow or other I was not really very excited with the for creating at that point of time also creating 10 by 12 bedrooms and kind of thing for real estate. So
Yeah.
uh, that was not my interest, and I decided that since I was doing interiors, I had a stronger experience, a stronger, greater experience, stronger portfolio in interiors. So with the word of mouth, I kept on getting some few more projects, and that's where I finally I got into an interior stream where I started developing doing a lot of interiors, and but somewhere in between, I always somehow or other I had an urge to get into hospitality.
Right.
So I had a friend uh, who was doing some hospitality consultancy. Uh, so we bumped into each other and we said that finally, okay, come, let's do. So I started working on some projects with him, trying to get
Yeah.
understanding of it. Although those were projects which were not going to pay us anything, but
Yeah.
I felt that it is very essential to love, because I always felt that it was very challenging. Somewhere or other down the line, I felt that it was always challenging to get into hospitality. You can't do copycat paste too many times because it's a
Right.
public space, and public space most of the time you can't keep on repeating.
Right. Right.
And
So
that's how I got into, slowly and gradually, I love for hospitality increased, and I managed to move there.
right, right, right. Okay. So, I mean, hospitality is a lot to do with its function and also its aesthetic value because it's a public space, right? So, I want to know that how do you balance as a designer the function with the aesthetic appeal?
So it's not only hospitality, I think so. Every project needs to be balanced in that
Yeah.
manner. Uh, uh, but as I told you, hospitality has its own challenges because being a public space, there are a lot of services and other things which are involved, and we need to ensure that it's like a, it's like a, it's like an engine which has to work 24/7.
Right,
It
right,
has to work 24/7, 365 days without failing. So we need to create those kind of, the engineering has to be, the design has to be so perfect that it should lead to, it should be, we should be able to use it to the benefit and for the smoothness, for smoothless operation throughout the life. Uh,
right.
and that's what is very very important in hospitality, rather than being talking about the kind of simplicity or the form or the aesthetics kind of thing, because aesthetics can vary from location to location, from
Right.
category of hotels to hotel. So probably we are currently creating a boutique hotel, which is where I feel that we are not going to spend much of money, because generally people feel that if you are doing a boutique hotel or if you are doing anything else, you tend to spend a lot of money. So
Yeah.
according to me, luxury is not spending money. Luxury is the way you perceive. You want it to perceive, and way your guest wants to be perceived, or and what feeling you want to give. So
Right.
experiential hospitality is going to take a big way in near future, which is going to come. So
Exactly.
those are the aspects which will have to be, which we take care of it very well.
Right, right, right. So, ensuring the engineering and the ecosystem of a project, like you said, is very, very important. But, how do you decide on certain spaces and certain material typologies of a project? Let's say, when do you start, deciding about what flooring to do while designing a project?
So uh, it's a holistic approach. So the uh, form follows function is definitely there,
Right,
but the once you have the form, you need to clad it with the material. So
right,
it is, that is the right time, when in initial stage only. For us, we don't keep it for anything which is later. Uh, Even for our client, we present it as a complete palette. We don't give in bits and pieces. So our
right,
mood boards are very specific with the actual materials which are going and being presented to the client, so that
right.
he has a touch and feel of it. He does, he knows what is going where. Everything is very very clear in that manner.
Right, right, exactly. Great. Okay, so can you just tell me? So I've heard this thing that you are one of the first people who started, using laminate flooring in India, right? So I want to know that, what was that project, and, how did you really think of using such a flooring?
So I will tell you what inspired me to do that, because we were renovating President Hotel and I was
Right.
working with Harsh Bednar. So Harsh Bednar was a concept architect and I was the Indian local architect at that point of time. This was one of my first initial experience of hospitality where I was doing for Taj. And when I was doing the public areas, I saw the way the complete operation was happening, and I realized we had specified some solid woods also, which was received from US, and they wanted to use solid wood because, but I felt that the kind of wood it was proposed was very soft species of wood. That time it was
Right.
proposed as a maple, and maple is a very soft species of wood. It cannot be. I feel today also I feel that it should not be used in the flooring because it's a very soft species.
Right.
Uh, and then after some time it worn off, and then after 6 months Taj approached us to design the rooms of the guest floor on 17th floor for President. And when we did that, we felt that carpet is there are always challenges, and we felt that the luxury of wood is also great. Now, if you
Right.
could find us an intermediate solution to it, that would be a great thing. So we, at that point of time, in 99 2000, we proposed that we should use uh, laminated wooden flooring over
Right.
there. And I think so it was accepted at that point of time by the management and said that let's try that. We made a mock-up and they all liked it, and so we rolled the rug onto it, spot rug on it, and then over the flooring, and I think so the complete project was done at that point of time in with laminated wooden flooring.
Right, right. Great. Interesting. So, I mean, talking about laminate flooring, like you said, that, it gives a blend of, what you really want in terms of durability and also in terms of the material that you want to use. But I want to know that, how such flooring is something that you came up with, that, wooden flooring or a laminate flooring is something that can aid to the aesthetics of a room, according to you. How does it really play?
So apart from aesthetics, I knew that it will look great in that aspect. But the major part was that if I use an engineered wood or solid wood, the
Right,
maintenance is really very high. So that
right,
was that was the reason, because sometimes guest abuses it. In
yeah.
any of the public spaces, the guest at time the product is being abused. So we need to
Right.
design a product which can take all the wear and tear, and it can be very easy on housekeeping also, because every day our housekeeping has to churn out that room in 15-20 minutes and go to the next, because more the
Right,
time they take, there is a challenge. Number of people required is more, or probably their shifts have to be longer. So everything becomes it's a cascading effect which we feel. So we decided that we are understood the specs very well, and we said that let's do that, and that's
right,
how we specified laminated wooden flooring at that point of time.
right. Interesting. Okay, so since you've been doing so many hotels, I want to know that has any specific travels that you have done which has inspired a couple of projects that you've done?
So travel is my life. I don't know how I'm surviving. I think so. I think so. I'm, I'm, I would thank God that He has given me all that patience now in this
Yeah,
current scenario, that I'm not traveled for last 4 months.
right,
So fortunately, otherwise it is a 3 day or 4 day in a week travel for me. Uh, what
if you could just share
I
some
have
examples. Right,
so so I um, everywhere I go, everywhere, whether it may be any part of the world,
right,
or whether I'm going to the my new project site also, the first thing I go and visit is the hotels there. So I would say that I the country which I have visited, and if I have not seen a hotel or a two, I think so that visit is
incomplete.
would not have been completed. It would
Yeah.
have been absolutely incomplete.
Right.
So the last before I think so, I was in US. I was in Vegas, and
I think that's the hub
it's
of all hotels.
yeah, it's a. So this is not my first visit to Vegas. I've been to Vegas several other times, but every time you go, you discover new things. You discover new way, new new things which are happening in the hospitality. So because probably I think so the number of rooms in probably I would say if you look at it, probably the equivalent of complete India rooms in India once upon a time used to be in Vegas.
Right.
So that's the kind of inventory they carry, and that too, it's a beautiful mechanism. You look at it, the casinos work well, the hotel works well. There is so much of guest which is coming in and going out, and all of a sudden everything is happening so beautifully without any interruptions, and that's how this large. It's like Titanic ship which is rolling without
Right.
delay.
Right. And I mean, I've always heard about, this positive attribute that you carry, and there's always this thing that, Designers Group is such a successful firm. But I want to know that have Designers Group or have you ever faced any watershed moments? Have you had your lows and challenges of running a firm like that?
So everybody has to. Everybody has it. I don't think so. We can anybody.
Yeah.
He says that that he never had a watershed challenges or any challenges in the life. I think so. Either he is lying or he is too fortunate. He's too fortunate.
Right.
So we had lows and bads, but I think so. Uh, we decided in 99 2000 that we would like to focus on hospitality, and I think so.
Right.
My decision and my team's decision at that point of time, which we took to concentrate on hospitality, because that inner spark which was which led us to that kind of excitement in hospitality design. I think so that has made us more comfortable. Today,
Right.
also when things are very gloomy and very too much of cloud around, dark clouds around. We feel that yes, we are also in the similar situation, but today we feel that the day these clouds are going to move around, we are already seeing the silver line around the clouds. So I think so we'll do great, and everybody will do great in this area, because if you are focused and if you are dedicated to that one particular area, one particular specialize into one particular type of design, probably you become master of it. So last 20 years we have been doing this, and one thing which I'm trying my best not to become too prototype kind of a thing. So I would love that to keep on innovating, keep on creating new and new. And I don't want people to look at the design and tell that this is Kojima Chitalwala design.
Wow, that's something to know, because I feel a lot of designers want that they have a signature style that is, showcased in their projects, but that's a different vision that I hear from you, that you want each design to be separate and each design to have its own story. So that's great. Okay, so
So
do you have any
we
other?
do have, every designer leaves a signature, but that signature
Right.
is something which somebody who has that sense of design, and somebody has that vision, introspective vision of what is to be seen, that those people can identify it. Otherwise it should not be identified.
Right.
It should have a product should have variation. Product should have variation.
Right. So how do you kind of balance that out? Because what's your ultimate goal when you go to work each day? Is there any goal that you set aside that this is how I need to lead my day, or this is how I work?
Currently, I get up in the morning and first thing we discuss is what's going to have for lunch, and what is going to on lunch table we discuss what's for dinner.
Right. Right. I'm sure.
But yes, but yes, I think so. Without being focused, without creating a goal, it's going to be very difficult.
Right.
My as a designers group, I have a great objective for myself and for my team that we should become one of the best in the world. We should be recognized as one of the best in terms of hospitality in the world, and that's what we are trying to do and do our best that people recognize us more and more, and we can get better recognition in the days to
Right.
come.
Anything specific that you want to be remembered for?
So it's a little bit late, but I realized something that if I would have pursued architecture at that point of time and not left architecture, probably people would remember for me for more larger number of years than for my interiors. So uh, we do interiors of a hospitality. People see it for 10 years. But I want one thing to happen is that we have started doing now architecture, and that too only in hospitality.
Right.
Very few projects, but we want to be recognized as a hospitality firm for a very long time. I want the firm to go on. I want the firm to run as an independent organization with or without my presence. That
Right.
is my long-term goal. So, designers group should be kept, should keep going even in my absence.
Right.
That's a long-term objective which I have, and I feel that if I can achieve that, then probably it would be great. Things will move on.
Right.
And we would like our presence to be felt, go more international, do more work abroad, internationally also.
Right, right. So since we are talking about your life, we are talking about early life, we are talking about future, I want to showcase a couple of photographs that we've extracted from you. So if you can just tell us about those, it will be very interesting for the audience and me. Okay,
Let's
let's
see
start
what
with
have we
this.
got. Woo! Oh, great! This is Tawfiq Bhai, my
Okay.
first boss.
All
And
right.
this is my first site visit to Lonavala.
Wow.
In
Okay.
first year of architecture, I did probably 1.5 months after I joined the office. They said, "Come along, Kuzima. We'll take. We are going for a drive to Lonavala for a project. Why don't you join us?" And
Right.
that's where I had gone.
Interesting. Okay.
Lovely. This is my old office. This
Yes.
is where I started. The first designers group in the garage.
Right. Right.
This is Mr. Rajpal's. This was an export house which was wanting a showroom for their customers,
Okay.
and we had created this showroom for them at that point of time. I think so. This must be in 92,
Okay.
91, 92, 91 probably, 1991 probably.
Right. Interesting.
This is my office from inside.
It's probably the first drafting boards that you ever installed
Yes.
in your office.
Yes, yes. So you will find them. They are all so clean, neat. I think so. This was taken on the inauguration day. This photograph.
Right.
Surprisingly, I'll tell you, in this office,
Yeah.
when we moved out from this office,
Right.
in this 200 square feet, we were 13 of us working.
Wow. That's
So we
really
literally,
interesting.
when we moved out, we were literally playing musical chair. So we would schedule, boss, I'm going to site, so you can come in. So there were 4-5 of us who used to roll around, and
Where everybody
in
booked
200.
their tables. Right.
And I'm very fortunate that I sit here, my secretary or operator come secretary come, everybody used to sit here next to me.
Okay.
And all of us used to literally rub shoulder to shoulder. the people who are doing those little bit of paperwork, all of them were doing that. I had a table of myself, and there were two people sitting on my table also.
Oh my God! All right, that's quite a start. Great. We have a
But
picture
yes,
of you as well.
so from 91 to we moved out to from 91 to I think so we moved out of that office in around 2000 and some 2002 or 3. We moved to a larger office.
Right.
But when we moved out, I think so uh, uh, it was. But this is a memory for me. This is a memory for me. I think so. Probably you see me here.
Yeah.
I was much more chubbier and much more.
Yeah, I think you've lost a lot of weight and gained a lot of space as well.
So I think so. I became more healthier.
Right, right. We agree. And we have this last picture.
Uh, this is I you know uh, I was doing one. Uh, there used to be Akbar Ali's Furniture Center. So I met somebody who was doing furniture, producing furniture for him, and
Oh,
that gentleman introduced me to Akbar Ali's Furniture Center owner, Mr. Asghar Khurakiwala,
okay.
and he is the same family which Akbar Ali owned. Akbar Ali is a complete one group which I think so. I probably people of my time would definitely know. Akbar Ali was the first only uh, large format store in Mumbai, which was
Right.
around that time in 1990s they had around 15-20,000 square feet, and they used to sell all kind of brands. So Shoppers Stop and other brands came in later. Unfortunately, the brand has not Akbar Ali as a brand has not survived, but I got introduced to that group.
Right.
Because I was doing some work for Akbar Ali Furniture Center, and I did their corporate office. This was where their corporate office was.
Interesting. Okay.
Very nice. You pulled down some of my memories very well.
Right. We wanted to take that out from you. So thanks for sharing that with us. I have one last quick question from you, which is basically an advice which I want you to give to young designers who are starting out today.
So I would like to say that the only shortcut currently which is available is on your keyboard to
Right.
your software. There is no shortcut key in your life.
True.
For everything you desire and you want it, you need to ensure that you work through the process. And if you have worked through those processes and you have done good, I think so you will achieve whatever objective or goals you create for yourself and for objective for your goal for yourself as well as for your organization.
Right. Right.
I'm sure that most of us want to work hard and get the opportunity, but opportunities do not walk. You need to work harder for those opportunities. You need to ensure that you you are there when the opportunity is there, and you need to ensure that when that opportunity comes at the door, you are willing to take that up as a challenge and do the needful.
Right. Right.
So, one thing which I would like to advise, which I feel that lot of the young talent when they come to our office also, they feel that whether it may be an architect or interior designer, sometimes they feel that they know everything. Please try and understand. I don't know anything today. So for you to know everything, I think so. It is not something which is complete. So we need to learn every day. We need to learn. We need to innovate. We need to learn, and we need to progress.
True. That's a great learning. I think we should always keep learning and consider ourselves fresher each day that we start working. and there are no shortcuts. We will all remember that. Great.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for being a part of this Paradox initiative of starting with the floor and sharing everything about your life from foundation to floor to ceiling. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Imani. Thank you, Parador. All the best, and all of you take care. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Catch us live every Friday 6 p.m. Thank you.
Bye bye.